Hey everyone, it's Caitlin. Welcome back to another video. If you're new here, make sure you hit that subscribe button for more easy and accessible vegan recipes. Today we're outside and we're going to be grilling 3 vegan recipes that are perfect for summertime. We've got an appetizer, a main, and a dessert. And I'm also really excited to say that this video is sponsored by Nasoya. I'll be using their organic super firm tofu, which is perfect for the grill. So today we're going to be making a grilled romaine salad and some yummy pesto tofu sliders. And if you want to see dessert, you'll just have to stay tuned for that recipe. So let's get into it. So before we work on our salad, we're actually going to start by marinating Nasoya's organic super firm tofu so our main course comes along a little faster. Here I am cutting the tofu block in half and then cutting it into slices that will fit my bread rolls, but you do you with whatever bread that you are using. I love using the super firm tofu because it's pre-pressed, so you can just take it straight out of the package and slice it right away, and its firm texture holds up really great on the grill. So we're going to need some pesto for this recipe. I am using my vegan nut-free pesto. I've shown you how to make this in a previous video, but you can also use store-bought as well. So here I am adding the pesto to a reusable Ziploc bag. I decided to add some in first and sort of move it around the bag because this bag's a little tight and I wanted to make sure all of my tofu got evenly coated. But if you were just doing this in a bowl or container, you could just add all of the tofu in first and put the pesto on top. But here, as you can see, I am sliding my tofu into this reusable bag. And then once everything is in, I'm just sort of going to gently toss it and mix it around in the bag to make sure all of the tofu is covered in the pesto, and then we're going to set this off to the side and let it marinate while we work on our salad. So now we're going to work on our grilled romaine salad. If you've never grilled romaine before, it's super easy and you're gonna love it. First, we'll start with our vinaigrette. We're going to add some lemon juice, some olive oil, Italian seasoning, and salt to a mini bowl, then whisk it together until it is emulsified. You can also just throw this in a jar and shake it up. So now we're going to work on our romaine. Here I am thinly slicing off that bottom brown tip of the head. You want the root of the lettuce to stay intact, so try to make that as thin as possible. And then I'm also slicing off the tops just because these tend to burn because they're very loose and thin. So, you know, it's just better to slice them off. And then I am cutting my romaine heads in half, so that way you get more grilled surface area. If you don't care too much about this, you can leave them whole. But personally, I prefer the flavor and overall texture of the lettuce once it's grilled. So you're going to transfer your romaine halves to a baking sheet along with a shucked ear of corn, and you're going to use a brush or whatever you have on hand to lightly coat the romaine heads and the corn with this vinaigrette. So this is going to be the vinaigrette for our salad, but it's also going to be used as the sort of basting oil and flavor for the veggies while we're grilling them too. So just make sure everything is evenly coated. You only have to do the tops of the romaine so far, and then sprinkle it with a little bit of salt and pepper, and then we'll take it to the grill. So I preheated my grill to around medium-high heat, which is around 400 degrees. And first we're going to start by putting our corn on the grill because this is going to take longer to cook. So you want to cook that for about 3 to 5 minutes, rotating it a little so it gets nice and charred. And then after that time, we're going to add the romaine heads to the grill as well. So the romaine heads, we're not really cooking the lettuce too much. It's not getting nice and wilty or anything where it's kind of gross. We're just cooking it for around 3 to 5 minutes, and then you're going to open the grill back up. And then at this point, you're going to lightly brush the other side of the romaine heads with that marinade and then give them a nice flip. And as you can see, they'll get some nice grill marks, but overall the lettuce isn't completely turning into like a cooked green if you were to saute or something. So don't forget to continue to rotate the corn, and then we're going to cook that side for another 3 to 5 minutes. And then at this point, you can just take everything off of the grill and bring it inside where we're going to assemble the rest of our salad. You can do this inside or outside, but I just wanted to do it right away so I don't forget. You can also sprinkle the romaine at this point with a little more salt and pepper. So now it's time to assemble. We're going to put our romaine on a plate, and then I cut the kernels off of the ear of corn and I'm sprinkling that on top. And then we're going to deck it out with some fresh ingredients. We've got some cherry tomatoes for some nice juicy flavor, as well as some toasted pine nuts for a little bit of crunch. And then last but not least, we're going to top it off with some fresh basil for an herby bite. Then I guess not least, or last, we're going to add some black pepper, and then that's pretty much it. I like to serve this as is and let people add their extra dressing on the side because I think it's already pretty well dressed from the grilled romaine. So our tofu has marinated now, and it's time to get back to our pesto sliders. We are going to preheat our grill to 350 to 400 F, so the same temperature as that romaine lettuce, and then just take the tofu directly out of that marinade bag and place it on the grill. Again, we don't need to cook this for too long. The grill is very quick and efficient. So again, you're going to cook it for around 5 minutes on each side and then flip it over. And then at this point, we're going to take our buns and place them directly on the grill too. I like to do this because it has a nice char, but as you can see, my grill also has a warming rack on top. So if you don't want extra toasty buns, you could put them up there too. Pro tip, you can also brush the buns with oil if you want them to get extra crispy, which is what I did. I used some leftover oil from the sun-dried tomatoes, which are going to come into the recipe later. But this is what the tofu looks like after it's been grilled. As you can see, Nisoya Super Firm Tofu holds up super well. It cooks really well, and now we're just ready to assemble. So this is what everything looks like. As you can see, again, a glamour shot of the tofu. The pesto doesn't look like the most appetizing because it turns a little yellow, but I promise the flavor is still there. And the good news is we can use the leftover pesto from that marinade bag and spread it on the toasted bun too while we're assembling our sandwich. So start out with a nice layer of that. But we're going to put that on top, so now we're switching to the bottom. And I started out by layering some arugula on my sandwich. If you're not a fan of arugula, you could use baby spinach or another tender greens. And then here's where the sun-dried tomatoes come in. I like to add a layer of that for some tanginess. Then we're going to top it off with our grilled pesto tofu. And last but certainly not least, some roasted red peppers. Then you can put that pesto coated bun on top and your sandwich is assembled and ready to enjoy. This is so good and satisfying. They're kind of small, so they're sliders, but honestly, they're easier to eat this way. And I just think it's a really enjoyable and quick and easy summer recipe. Now it's time for dessert, and guess what? We're making grilled vegan and gluten-free peach cobbler. So first we're going to start with our fruity filling. We're going to add some maple syrup to a bowl along with just a little bit of full-fat coconut milk along with some vanilla extract, some cornstarch, cinnamon, and last but not least, a little bit of salt. You're going to whisk that all together until the cornstarch is nice and dissolved, and then we're going to gently fold in our peaches. You need about 7 cups of peaches for this recipe. I have notes on the blog for an oven option for this recipe as well as how you can use frozen peaches in this recipe, so be sure to click the link below and check that out. But you're just going to gently fold them in and then set that into a greased cast iron skillet. If you're using the grill, I recommend using cast iron. It definitely cooks the best. So now we're just using a spatula to smooth the peaches around so you get a nice even layer, no major blank spots on the bottom. And then you can cover your pan in aluminum foil, and we'll take this to the grill. Again, the grill is going to be heated up around between 350 and 400 degrees, and we're going to close that and cook it for around 15 minutes until the peaches are nice and bubbly. In the meantime, we'll work on our biscuit toppings. So we're going to be using some all-purpose gluten-free flour, some almond flour, baking powder, and salt, and whisk that all together until it's nice and combined first. And then we'll add in our liquid ingredients, which will be some more full-fat coconut milk and just a touch of maple syrup. I didn't want this to be too sweet. Sometimes with cobblers, the top is super sweet, but I thought the peaches should shine on their own. So you're just going to mix this together, and as you can see, you're going to get a really thick batter, which is what we are looking for. Gluten-free flour tends to spread more, so you want it to be thicker than like a wheat-based biscuit. So you're going to uncover the peaches. They already look amazing. And then you're just going to take a spoon and dollop on that biscuit topping all over the cast iron skillet. And then here, this is optional, but I recommend it. I'm sprinkling the tops of the biscuit with some turbinado or raw cane sugar. It just adds an extra crunch, and I think it makes it look extra pretty. So now you're going to close the grill, cook it for around 20 to 25 minutes. This is what it should look like when it comes out. The peaches should be nice and bubbly. This won't brown too much. You should get some light golden bits on top, but just know that this appearance is totally okay and delicious. So now it's time to take it out of the oven, and the only thing left to do is to top it with some vanilla ice cream. And then obviously you gotta wait a few minutes so that it gets nice and melty and adds that extra sweet element on top. And then it's time to serve it up. So here's my plate. You get that fluffy, creamy, almost buttery biscuit and those juicy, bubbly peaches with the vanilla ice cream. It's the perfect summer dessert. You gotta try this one, guys. All right, and that's it. Leave a comment down below and let me know which one of these recipes was your favorite. And as always, all of the links to the recipes will be linked down below if you want to save them to Pinterest and remake them later. I also want to say if you don't have a grill, you can still make these recipes. I have oven instructions for the dessert on the blog post, and you can also buy one of these trusty old cast iron grill pans. This is what I used before I had a grill, and it works perfectly fine inside as well. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Leave a comment down below if you have any more grilling recipes that you want me to veganize, and I look for... Oh, it's okay. It's fine. I just like. Maybe we'll make a blooper reel. Of course, as the wind picks up. Of course, now it gets sunny. Before I had a grill, I used to trust it out. It's too windy. So today we're going to be making... That's my surprise face. Okay, there's no script at this point. So that's it. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a great day, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Bye!